哎，咱们录这个《冰与火之歌》，阿耶，这个《A Clash of Kings》第二本，然后阿雅七的这一部分，在 Harrenhal 遇到了 Jaqen 和 Gar，开始。Whatever names Harren the Black had meant to give his towers were long forgotten. They were called the Tower of Dread, the Widow's Tower, the Wailing Tower, the Tower of Ghosts, and Kingspire Tower. Arya slept in the shallow niche in the cavernous vaults beneath the Wailing Tower, on a bed of straw. She had water to wash in whenever she liked, a chunk of soap. The work was hard, but no harder than walking miles every day. Weasel did not need to find worms and bugs to eat, as Arya did. There was bread every day, and barley stews with bits of carrot and turnip, and once a fortnight even a bite of meat. Hot Pie ate even better. He was where he belonged, in the kitchens. A round stone building with a domed roof that was a world unto itself. Arya took her meals at a trestle table in the undercroft with Whis and his other charges. But sometimes she would be chosen to help fetch their food, and she and Hot Pie could steal a moment to talk. He could never remember that he was now Weasel and kept calling her Ari, even though he knew he was a girl. Once he tried to slip her a hot apple tart, but he made such a clumsy job of it that two of the cooks saw. They took the tart away and beat him with a big wooden spoon. Gendry had been sent to the forge. Arya seldom saw him. As for those she served with, she did not even want to know their names. That only made it hurt worse when they died. Most of them were older than she was, and content to let her alone. Harrenhal was vast, much of it far gone in decay. Lady Vent had held the castle as bannerman to House Tully, but she had used only the lower thirds of the 2 of the 5 towers, and let the rest to go to ruin. Now she was flat, and the small household she had left could not begin to tend the needs of all the knights, lords, and high-born prisoners Lord Tywin had brought. So the Lannisters must forage for servants as well as for plunder and provender. The talk was that Lord Tywin planned to restore Harrenhal to glory and make it his new seat once the war was done. Whis used Arya to write messages, draw water, and fetch food, and sometimes to serve at the table. In the barracks hall above the armory, where the men-at-arms took their meals. But most of her work was cleaning. The ground floor of the Wailing Tower was given over to storerooms and granaries, and 2 floors above houses part of the garrison, but the upper stories had not been occupied for 80 years. Now Lord Tywin had commanded that they may be made fit for habitation again. There were floors to be scrubbed, grime to wash off windows, broken chairs and rotted beds to be carried off. The topmost story was infested with nests of the huge black bats that House Went had used for its sigil. And there were rats in the cellars as well, and ghosts, some said, the spirits of Harren the Black and his sons. Arya thought that was stupid. Harren and his sons had died in Kingspire Tower. That was why it had that name. So why should they cross the yard to haunt her? The Waiting Tower only wailed when a wind blew from the north, and that was just the sound the air made blowing through the cracks in the stones where they had fizzed from the heat. If there were ghosts in Harrenhal, they never troubled her. It was the living men she feared, Whis and Sir Gregor Clegane, and Lord Tywin Lannister himself, who kept his apartments in Kingspire Tower, still the tallest and mightiest of all. Though lopsided beneath the weight of the slagged stone that made it look like some giant, half-melted black candle. She wondered what Lord Tywin would do if she marched up to him and confessed to being Arya Stark. But she knew she had never get near enough to talk to him, and anyhow he would never believe her if she did. And afterward Whis would beat her bloody.